Every year, millions of people go to Tirumala and shave their heads for Venkateswara Swamy. It's the biggest offering of hair anywhere in the world. But here's the real question. Why hair? Of everything you could give Balaji, why that? The answer is actually older than the temple itself. And once you really understand it, you'll never look at a shaved head on those hills the same way again. So if you ask people climbing the hill why they do it, a lot of them will tell you the story of Neela Devi. The story goes that long ago, when Venkateswara Swamy had taken his form on these hills, he was hurt and a small patch of hair fell from his head. And for those who loved him, it was unbearable that someone so beautiful should carry even the smallest mark. There was a woman named Neela Devi, and when she saw it, she couldn't look away and she couldn't pretend it didn't matter. Of everyone who loved him, she was the one who decided to do something. So without anyone asking her, without a word, she reached up and cut off a length of her own hair. And you have to understand what that meant. Back then, a woman's hair was everything. It was her beauty, her pride, the thing the whole world told her made her who she was. And she cut it and she gave it to cover what he had lost. She didn't stop to think about what it cost her, and she didn't ask for anything in return. She just couldn't stand to see him diminished, so she gave the most beautiful thing she had to make him whole again. And Srinivasa, the story says, was moved the way only love can move you. So he made her a promise. From that day on, any hair offered to him on this hill by anyone would be received as if it had come from Neela Devi's own hands. Her gift would live inside every gift that came after. And they say one of the 7 peaks still carries her name to this day, Neeladri. It's a tender story. It's about giving the most precious thing you have. And for millions of people, that's reason enough to sit down in front of the barber, close their eyes and let it all go. It's one of the most beautiful stories this hill has kept. And the oldest text holds a beautiful story of their own. It's written in the Venkatachala Mahatmya, the sacred history of this place in the Skanda Purana, and it's a much quieter one. In that story, Srinivasa comes to these hills and he chooses to hide. He conceals himself inside a Valmika, an anthill, beside a sacred spring, and there he waits, hidden in the earth with no temple around him, and no one even knows he has come. And the one who finally finds him is a cow.
Srinivasa Govinda, Shri Venkatesha Govinda, Bhaktavatsala Govinda, Bhagavata Priya Govinda, Govinda Hari Govinda, Gokulanandana Govinda, Govinda Hari.
Every day, this one cow slips away from the herd and climbs a hill alone. She walks to that anthill, she stands over it, and she lets her milk flow down into the earth, feeding the one no one can see. And then she walks back down as if nothing happened. Day after day, she gives everything she has to the Swami hidden in the ground, and she tells no one. Her herdsmen can't make sense of it. A strong, healthy cow that comes home every evening with no milk at all. So one day he follows her, climbing up the hill behind her, quiet, and he watches her empty herself into an anthill for no reason he can understand. Word travels, it reaches the king, and finally they come to that spot and they open the earth, and there, hidden inside it all along, they find Srinivasa. And that's the story the scripture keeps. The Swami who hid himself away and the cow who kept his secret until the day they finally found what she had been protecting. So this hill holds more than one beautiful story. One the oldest texts have kept, and one that devotees have always carried in their hearts. 2 stories, both beloved. Look closer though, and both are really about the same thing, giving. The cow gave her milk, Neela Devi gave her hair. This has always been a hill where you give Venkateswara Swamy the thing most precious to you.
Govinda, Govinda Hari Govinda, Gokulanandana Govinda, Govinda Hari Govinda, Gokulanandana Govinda, Vajramukutadhara Govinda.
The place where you give your hair even has a name, the Kalyanakatta. It comes from a river, the Kalyani, where long ago barbers used to wait along the path going up the hill, a path people have walked for more than 1,000 years. They would stop, give their hair, bathe in the river, and keep climbing up to the temple. And 1,000 years later, they still do. So, why hair? The answer is older than the temple itself. In the old text of Dharma, there's an idea that follows you everywhere, that the wrong we do doesn't just disappear, it stays with us, it builds up over time, and of all the places it gathers in the hair. So, all across the tradition, in pilgrimage, in grief, at the big turning points of a life, people shave their heads and they leave the wrong behind with it. And then there's a vow, the mokku. Almost everyone climbing that hill to give their hair has made one, maybe in a hospital corridor, or next to a sick child, or in a year when nothing was going right and there was nowhere left to turn. They said, if this passes, I'll come to the hill and I'll give you my hair. And it passed, so they came. That's what the barber's blade is really doing. It isn't really a beauty you're giving up. It's a thing you were most proud of, set down at the feet of something far bigger than you, and you walk back down that hill lighter than you came up, carrying a little less vanity, a little less of whatever weighed on you. So whether it's Neela Devi that moves you, or that cow on the silent hill, this is where the two stories meet. The hair comes off and something gets surrendered. And once you start seeing it that way, those millions of people climbing the hill every year begin to look like something else completely.
सीतानायक गोविन्द श्रितपरिपालक गोविन्द दरिद्रजनपोष गोविन्द धर्मसंस्थापक गोविन्द गोविन्द हरि गोविन्द गोकुलनन्दन गोविन्द गोविन्द
50,000 of them on a normal day, even more when the season turns. A grandmother who waited her whole life for this. A father holding a sleeping baby whose very first hair is going to be given right here before the child will ever even remember it. People who know the Neela Devi story by heart and the people who have never once heard her name sitting right next to each other doing the same ancient thing. And none of them are thinking about any of this. They are thinking about what they carried up that hill and what they are about to put down. That's what a living tradition really is. A mountain that never locked a single story away but kept room for all of them, gentle enough to receive every head that bows before it the same way. And the hill just goes on holding all of it quietly, the way it has for 1,000 years. If you enjoyed watching this video, subscribe Temple Girl for more of the stories India still lives by.